Good afternoon and welcome to Africa's News at 12. I'm your host, Cynthia Kathiani. In our headlines this afternoon, the traffic menace in Nairobi, monument of shame, Embakasi residents stranded after stringent measures get imposed on the Embasava Circle. We get up close and personal with Annabel Mbaru. In business, Kenyan Mall is booming with business. And in sports, clash of the great at Wimbledon. A look at our weekend KPL fixtures. Welcome and stay tuned. We start with the Nairobi traffic menace, which continues to frustrate motorists around the area. Motorists are claimed to be concerned with the ever increase in traffic at odd hours of the day. With the petroleum prices ever rising, the motorists are demanding for improved measures on way to avert this menace. Elvis Okoth has more on this story.
Traffic has been a major issue in Kenya, and you can see behind me, we have traffic issues. So we urge the government of Kenya to do something about this. Of course, reporting for Africa.
The monument at Central Park, thought to be commemorating the former President Daniel Moi, has been left in shambles by the recent government, and what now remains are scenery of filth and falling walls enclosing the monument. Kabogo Jones has more on this story.
Unity, strength, and dedication are the three pillars of President Moi during his reign. But this is what remains after 25 years of service. So then we pose a question to the Uhuru government: what are you doing to protect this monument?
Walls and bricks enclosing the monument falling to pieces day by day. A clear sign of the Uhuru government neglecting this fine piece of artwork. What now remains is to see which response the Uhuru government will give. Kabogo Jones reporting live for Afrina's Communication at 1.
Well, the government of Uhuru Kenyatta has to take action, as the monument also acts as a tourist attraction to some locals. And on that note, let us take a break, and when we return, we will be bringing you other news.
There once was a girl, and she had a dream of monsters and fairies. Things not what they seem. Whatever should fall would suddenly rise. And there she appeared, to her great surprise. Knowing this dream would eventually end, she'd always remember her new favourite friend.
Fly Emirates. Hello tomorrow.
Welcome back. Embakasi residents were left stranded for days as their renowned circle, the Embasava Circle, operating licenses was revoked after a recent accident involving their buses around the area. The license was revoked and the matatu operators were obliged to take tests before they were being allowed to go back to the roads. Cynthia Kathiani has more on this story. Most people use public transport as a means of communication to and for their residence. Hundreds of commuters from Jogoo Road, Embakasi, and Pipeline areas have been stranded since Thursday last week following the suspension of Embasava Circle vehicles by the Transport and Safety Authority. The move followed after one of the circle's vehicles was involved in an accident, leaving one person dead and 21 others injured. As a result, the reckless driver's license was confiscated.
Wale wanahusika kama mtu amefanya makosa apewe punishment yake individually. lakini sio kampuni yote, sababu wateja wetu wanaumia.
Kwa hivyo tunaomba, kwa sababu hizi gari wateja wanaumia, na wale wafanyikazi kama dereva na kondakta, wale wenye hawakuhusika kwa hiyo acheri pia wanaumia.
Their license has been suspended for the next 14 days. What next for these residents? Reporting live from Inas, this is Cynthia Kathiani. Annabelle Mbaru was the name leaving a lot of Big Brother fans in Kenya in a frenzy as she was leaving for South Africa for the Big Brother challenge. Our reporter Aline Kapakasi met one of the matter with this and other stories.
Let's do this. My name is Ann Baru, but I'm popularly known as Annabelle, or rather Anna Banana. Why I'm called Annabelle is because I auditioned for this famous show in Africa called Big Brother Africa. Annabelle is not really my name, it's a production name. But yeah, because of the show, everyone knows me as that. The reason why Big Brother is big in Africa is because there are 54 countries that watch you, and there are 12 participating countries, sometimes 12 and 14. And out of the 14 countries or 12, they pick 2 representatives. So I happen to have been one of the lucky ones. Now, the first time I entered, it was so overwhelming. Like, imagine just having lights and everything, and the whole Africa is watching you, and just it was surreal. Honestly, it was surreal. Talking to Ike, he gave me props, said how educated I am. So
don't do that. Really, beauty and brains. She's got 2 degrees I hear, and one of them in psychology. Yes.
Yes.
Don't do.
At least when you enter, before you entered, he kind of like gives people snippets about you. There were 2 houses, the Ruby House and the Diamond House, so we're all split. So I ended up being in the Diamond House. So the first person I remember talking to was the lady who won Big Brother, Delish Matthews. We were just 14 housemates who are now trying to get acquainted with each other. So in other words, it's not about who I met first, but we all met each other at the same time. I became very close to Delish. I became very close to, well, for Huda, we became close in the house. Not really close, but we became close at the afterlife. Then Hakim, I don't know, like I just bonded with everybody. My best moments in the house, I'd say, was the time when the storeroom was being opened, because then there was alcohol. On my dream, but it's a surreal world, so you need a bit of stimulation to keep you going in that house. So don't get me wrong, I'm not an alcoholic, but we all love our drinks, yeah? Then leaving the house, because remember, like, you're locked up. So when we used to go for like the challenges in the field to battle like for immunity, there's also one of it. Worst moments is fighting. Big Brother in general is, don't want to talk badly based on it, but it's a social experiment. When you enter Big Brother, know what you want to achieve after. Don't enter based on because you want to be famous or you want to be a socialite. Socialite in terms of the Kenyan context, you know what it's all about. But have a game plan what you want in your outside life. Establish your brand. So don't expect to be don't expect to be employed after, because you've exposed your life, so people might not be comfortable with also working with you based on what they've seen about you. But yet again, also you have a following, so also people want to work with you. So it's a give and take. Enter there with a bit of dignity. That way, at least when you come out, you can even be you can be an ambassador for humanitarian jobs. You can be given very good personality jobs like in media. If you have low self-esteem issues, do not enter, because it's a tough world out here. Because when you leave, remember you offended people, so people don't take it as they take you as that Kenyan who's insulting a Nigerian person. So be ready for a lot of backlash. The positive side, be ready for a lot of love. Your life actually changes for the better. For most people, I like to be called Anna Banana because I'm launching a bra line, hopefully in October, because that's Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and the niche market is middle class and lower class. I aim in launching my line in Kenya, Nigeria, and South Africa first, before I could actually venture in consignments with other bigger companies. I also did a movie called Silver Rain. It's Pan-African. It's Ghanaian production, but it's Pan-African, so it's the only Kenyan in it. It's been launched in Ghana. It was launched in Nigeria. It's going to be launched in Amsterdam in a couple of days. Then after it's going to be launched either in South Africa or Kenya first. I don't know which one comes first. I'm an entrepreneur in general. I do my own business. I believe the platform was big enough. I come from a family that we are entirely entrepreneurs. As much as I went to school to do 2 degrees, I still don't understand. But yeah, and I'm going back to do my master's in September. I always say, if you want room for growth, always have spiritual development. If you don't have spiritual development, you won't have good communication skills with people because you'll always be at war with people. Advice is, even if you don't believe necessarily in God, at least have a belief system in you. And yeah, just be nice to people. And a banana here, and one thing I'll tell you is, you don't know how strong you are until only being strong is the only option. Mwah! Kisses.
We'll take a commercial break, after which we'll look at today's business news. Stay tuned.
In Kenya, there are 1,000 different ways to say hello.
Jumbo! 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 Jumbo!
Jumbo. Hello world, welcome to Magical Kenya.
Welcome back. Great news right here. The emergence of malls across Kenya has made Kenya become the East Africa's hottest destination, thus a boost in the Kenyan economy, as both foreigners and locals get to visit the malls for their shopping and other pleasurable activities.
Kenya is in the grips of mall mania. The country's expanding consumer class and improved infrastructure has made it East Africa's hottest destination for developers and retailers. The newest to open its doors is Garden City.
Over time, over the next 3 to 4 years, we'll build out the entire mixed-use development in its entirety, and that will have, 500,000 square foot retail mall. We'll have close to 300,000 square feet of offices and about 400 homes.
Due to open its doors in December, Centum's 100-acre Two Rivers mixed-use development will boast the biggest mall in Eastern and Central Africa, employing some 2,500 people.
That marks the end of Afrina's business news this afternoon. Let's cross over to the day's sports. But first,
let's go!
we start the day sports with the KPLC matches where the reigning champions Gor Mahia drew 0 with Mathare United. Both teams wanted a lot of opportunities, though it was Gor Mahia who has also many clear chances, but their finishing was disappointed. The mighty Kogalo are set to meet their arch rivals AFC Leopards later this month. In the international scene, it was the battle of the great when two tennis giants met in the Wimbledon finals. Novak Djokovic, the first seed outside arch rival, and the second seed Roger Federer to a 7-6, 7-6-4 in a Navy final. Here are the highlights.
Quiet, please. Quick.
Wimbledon final. Roger Federer against Novak Djokovic, an absolute delight. Here, the sun is out, Federer chose to serve, and here we go.
Congratulations to Novak Djokovic for retaining the Wimbledon crown. This marks the end of our news bulletin this afternoon. Thank you for keeping me company. For Africa News at 1, I was your host, Cynthia Kathiani. Let us do this again tomorrow. Good afternoon.